Hey guys, welcome to the Whatever Comes to Mind podcast. I'm Heaven, and I have Shay with me again today.
Hey.
And today we're going to be focusing on the Black girl experience. Okay, so the first question I have are what are some unique challenges that little Black girls face in society today?
Over sexualism. That's the biggest one. That's
Yep.
the most prominent one. And that over sexualization branches into every other issue that little Black girls faces. Over sexualization is like the forefront of every issue.
The this and it starts when we're very young. It's always this is what I never understood. It's always the put the clothes on, not because I shouldn't walk around naked, but put clothes on so it doesn't make my male family members uncomfortable.
Like, why are you worried about me, a 12-year-old girl, enticing a grown man? That don't make no sense. You need that man don't need to be around.
Like Kendrick
Something
Lamar
wrong with him.
said, Baka got a weird case. Why is he around? Also, why do family members think not letting the kids know like who the weird family members are protects
It protects the family member because they don't want the kids talking because they know kids talk too much and they gonna go home and they gonna go to school and they gonna tell the teacher and the teacher a mandated reporter and the teacher gotta tell the police and the police gotta tell CPS and guess what, that's the whole case because 9 times out of 10 the person that's staying in their house, this ain't the first case that they got related to kids and they not supposed to be staying in that house anyway.
They not even supposed to be within 30 feet of a minor. They can't even pick them up from school if they wanted to.
Nope. That's why they don't be wanting to tell kids because they know kids talk too much.
Hashtag believe your kids, y'all. Like,
always.
Obviously, like when they talk about the monsters under the bed, that's probably not the best story. But what else are they making up? They're not that creative.
Especially when it comes to sexual stuff. Especially if you, and this be the thing that that leads to people not believing their children because you do not know your child. You do not spend enough time with your child to actually know your child and know when your child is lying and know how creative your child is and know what your child knows. How you supposed to know if your child know what sex is? You don't be around your child enough.
Exactly.
And then you always stick him in front of the iPad. Of course he know what sex is. What are you talking about?
Right, the internet. And it's crazy. They make child-friendly channels just to avoid that. They still let them get on YouTube, not the kids' version.
And then y'all also burden everybody else with like parenting. That you make your parenting everybody else's burden. What Beyonce say? I don't have kids. I don't raise kids. My mother raised me.
Why? It's weird. People will look towards. Did you see the Funny Mike thing?
Yes.
People. Okay. First off, if you getting parenting advice from Mac Arthur, you're something wrong with you.
A nigga who used to call himself 22 Savage for fun. Are we being for y'all don't know the lore of Funny Mike.
NBA YoungBoy's associate. Well, I'm not taking any parenting advice from them. But it's sorry.
And Jalea is Kevin Gates' stepsister. Definitely don't need.
She is Kevin Gates' stepsister.
We don't need to be taking no advice from that stalk. I'm sorry.
He just mentioned Lee Lucas in a song. That was anyways. And my thing is, I have 2 thoughts on that. First off, it's his son. And let's stop acting like this drawing pad is the end of the world. Like, it's just a toy.
Yeah, I don't really understand that. Like, I had to get on my sister's head about that because she used to always be telling that to my nephew. My nephew is autistic. I was like, girl, let him be. He think it's interesting. He only got sisters.
What else is he going to play with?
And case in point, MJ only has sisters. And MJ is still a baby. That little boy is only 4. Yes, he talks and he's very articulate and all that stuff and he knows exactly what he's doing. But at the end of the day, MJ is only 4. He just finds it interesting. That's it.
Also, it's his son. Like, my thing is with Funny Mike, he was like, well, I don't care about you guys' opinions. If you didn't care about our opinions, why did you address it on live? My thing is, you know how parasocial relationships work. You know what's even crazy is us watching that boy grow up for the past 4 years. So you have to understand they're gonna have an opinion. And if you didn't care about the opinions, just stop addressing it. That's how I feel like they should.
Or keep your parenting off the internet, maybe.
Because you telling him you gonna pack him up, and then in the same sentence saying thank you subs. This is actually not gonna work because we're gonna have an opinion. Because you asking for a hype train and shit. I'm gonna say what I have to say.
And then it's the fact that people gotta pay to even comment on Twitch. you best believe I'm finna have an opinion if I gotta pay you some fucking money to even give you my opinion.
Yeah.
The hell is you talking about?
Yeah. But the over sexualization of children is extremely weird. That's the first thing, and I think the second thing, or one of the, is our hair. I think the fact that the way our hair grows out of our head is considered unprofessional. It's a crazy thing.
Crazy stuff.
And that's a very strong white supremacist narrative.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, all the other little kids, the other little kids can just get up and go to school. They don't have to do nothing to their hair, and that's fine. And that is fine.
Mm-hmm.
We should be able to do the same thing.
Yes.
But
if I want to wear my hair in an afro, I can do that.
If
I don't want to slick down my edges, I don't have to do that.
If your hair is in the afro, your hair is done. That is a style.
If it's in a twist out, it's done.
It's done. That's a
wash
style.
and go. It's done.
It's done.
Your hair is done.
Your hair is done. Your hair, and like the professional hairstyles is like some of the craziest white brainwash I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And it works so well.
And you know it's crazy, and little black girls are indoctrinated into white supremacy very young, because even from a young age, I can remember if I had an important event coming up at school or something like that, I would want my mom to flatter my hair.
Yeah, my hair was flattering if I had an important event. Not in the braids, not in a style that represents us. Flattering to look like the other white kids.
If it was Easter, my hair was flattering.
Yep.
If it was Christmas, my hair was flattering.
Bumped ends.
Thanksgiving, my hair was flattering.
Yep.
The ends might have been bumped, and I was gonna be hella mad about them bumped ends, but it
had us looking like Cat Williams in 2008. But I digress. I think that's like, why do me and my granny have the same hairstyle?
Right.
But I was born in 2006.
Like my name is Dorothy.
I mean, Gretchen. I was born in 2006.
Gertrude.
I was 2006, 1966. But okay, I don't know how that style lasted 80 years, whatever. Yeah, I think our hair, our bodies get policed a lot different in schools.
Yes.
So I agree with dress coding kids, but if you're gonna dress code one, dress code them all.
Yes.
All of it's. If the outfit that they're wearing is inappropriate, just all of them get dress coded. Send them all to the office.
Case in point, I've always been the type to call somebody out. In 7th grade, we moved like to a small town, so it was like, a little all-white town. I was one of the only black kids there. I think it was like out of all the kids in the school, it was like maybe 5 black kids. Mm-hmm. So it was the first day of school. They was going over dress code. They was saying like, yeah, like no leggings, no short shorts, and that was the thing. Like I came at like the end of their 6th grade year, and I used to wear like leggings and stuff like that. And they used to always like say something to me. Like, mind you, in 6th grade, 7th grade, I wasn't the most shapely girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even have much. I had more boobs than I had butt. So it was just like, it was weird to me. But we was back first day of school, 7th grade, they going over the dress code or whatever. It was this girl who came in there with some short shorts, and she was a white girl too. So, as the teacher's going over the dress code, I raised my hand and I said, oh, like the shorts she's wearing? Mm-hmm. And everybody looked at her, and the teacher said, yeah. I said, oh, okay. Yeah, just making sure it's equal for everybody.
Yeah, because that was like a very big issue at our school. Not because they would dress code some kids and not the others. But I'm like, what she has on is very inappropriate. But it's also 12 of them dressed this way, so...
Right. Is it inappropriate because of her body, or is it inappropriate because of the clothing type?
Because if you go suspend them all.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The policing of our bodies, and I think, and this is not even...
Honestly, I feel like it's the over-policing of everything we do. We can't overreact.
Yep.
We always have to be nice, even though our society continuously tells black women, fuck you. We're on the bottom of everybody. Black people might be on the bottom, bottom as a race.
Women are an oppressed group, and black people are an oppressed group. So we have to be both of those at the same time.
And it's easier to be a man than it is to be a woman.
By far.
So, and I just if society continuously tells me, fuck you, why do I have to be nice to society? Why, yes, I am an angry black woman.
Also, black kids aren't allowed, or at least black adults aren't allowed to be shy in the workplace. It's always an attitude or something of that nature. If my job doesn't require us to have this community lunch, that's actually not what I'm doing. That's not a sign of disrespect. I just don't want to talk to you. And that's
outside of my contracted hours. I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Sorry. lunch is lunch. I gotta clock out to take lunch. That's outside of my contracted hours. I don't have to talk to you.
Yep. Yeah. Like, I think it's weird. Like, black adults are not allowed to be shy, but no other ethnic groups are.
Right. And it's seen as cute, quirky.
Okay, if Lil Uzi Vert was white, they would be calling him Elvis, or like
he would be way bigger, especially with like the devil worship and shit. Yeah. Doja Cat too. Even though she tried her hardest to assimilate as closeness to whiteness as possible, it didn't work out. You still a nigga at the end of the day. Because when you shave your head, they can see that fucking coil. They still gonna call you a nigger monkey when you go to the damn bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah, but I just don't think, like, we can't, the way black people aren't allowed to express themselves in the same way. Because I know if Lil Uzi was white, he'd be the biggest thing ever. Like, I just know it. Because all the other white pop stars, the punk people, all of that, they are fully embraced.
Yeah, like, it was so much love for Lil Peep. No disrespect to him. I couldn't name a song by him.
And then it was even addressing them. They laugh at me because I'm emo. You are a rock star, but to us, you're just weird. And I just don't find that to be fair.
Yeah.
Okay, how can families and communities create safe space for little black girls?
We need to talk to each other.
Yep.
No secrets. No secrets. I know what happens in this house stays in this house. No. You tell me everything what's going on. Tell me everything.
Even the parts I don't like. Heck, probably start with the parts I don't like first.
Yes. We need to talk to each other. Like, that's what's wrong. Everybody keeping secrets. Grandma done died with all the secrets in the family, and then...
Yeah, that's the problem. People trust the matriarchs of the family more than they trust anything else. Like, the grandma or the mom, that's why black Christianity is falling apart. Because people trust Papa and Granny more than they trust Pastor and God. If you know who woke us up to go to church? Granny. Who got us dressed? Granny. So I think in having one person know all the information about the family, who name on the family reunion shirts? Grannies. It's all of that, and that's why, like, you see it crumble, because we're not a family unit. We are grandma's, whatever her name is. Unit instead. Yeah.
Like, a lot of families don't know how to interact with each other after the matriarch dies, and that's why everything goes downhill. Case in point, the movie Soul Food. Their mama died, the family almost fell the fucking apart until the fucking uncle found the money in the TV.
Yeah.
And do you know how sad that is? That the only way that black people was able to come together is because they found some fucking money.
Mm. That's why I think the Black Revolution is going to have to start with love. I think we have to start by loving each other, see each other as brothers and sisters, and not as two distant strangers, and not as enemies. Because we'll be much more powerful in all of that when we can start to come together and see each other as one.
And they know that. Why the fuck you think they killed Malcolm X? Why you think they killed Martin Luther King? Why you think they killed Fred Hampton? As soon as we start to come together as a unit and see each other as brother and sister, and not as this random motherfucker off the street, or this homeless man that's down the street, this crackhead that's on the corner, as soon as we start to see each other as more than that, it becomes an issue.
Black Wall Street was the scariest thing to them, and that's why they burnt it down. We were thriving without them, and we proved that we could. Then they burnt it down. That's why. Once we come together, once we start to realize who we are and what we can be, and two heads are better than one, and how many of us? Probably 40 million is better than one together. That's when I think talking to each other is a good way to create a safe space.
Build a community, build a village. People are so individualistic. I'm not gonna do that for her unless she gonna do this.
Everyone wants a village, but no one wants to be a villager.
Like, you to build a village is to want to inconvenience yourself at the convenience of somebody else. Yeah. To be a villager, you have to inconvenience yourself.
The cost of community is your convenience. That's how we have it. But that's not my baby. I don't gotta pick her up from school. Didn't your granny used to pick you up from school every day?
On random days. Y'all auntie never picked you up on a random day in the middle of school. You like, who pulling me out of school? And you go up there, it's your TT, and she ride around and y'all just do random stuff all day. Y'all ain't never had that happen to y'all.
That's a village. Yeah, individualism is even killing. Okay, racism is so expensive that it doesn't make any sense. So, okay, so let's say that they get rid of due process. How are you gonna, if you get ICE? How could you prove that you are a citizen without due process? Because you should carry your ID on you, but you don't have to do that. So if you don't have that ID on you, you have no way of proving that you're a citizen. But you're like, well, non-citizens shouldn't have due process. If you don't have your ID, your social security, or birth certificate on you, you know what you are?
Not a citizen.
A non-citizen. So that's why due process is important. That's why racism is so expensive, because it's at everyone else's expense.
Yes.
That's why Nebraska is going to go into debt, because they're going to
Nebraska, Montana, any state
If
that
you're a farm
depends
state-
on farming, California, any state that depends on farming, Texas, any state that depends on foreign labor, you're through. You're done.
Yes. Also, why are you walking into a Mexican restaurant spewing hate at them? Who did you think was going to serve you at El Maguey's?
Why are you getting mad at the Mexicans at the Mexican restaurant for speaking Spanish? What you thought you was going to hear when you came up in here?
It was like, well, their English isn't good. The sign is in Spanish. This is a predominantly Mexican neighborhood. What did you expect to hear when you walk into this place?
And then also, the cost of racism. Yo, who you think paying to deport all these people back to Mexico and Argentina and Haiti?
All of us.
We are. So when you start seeing them taxes go up and up and up and up, hey, that's you.
Yeah.
You did that. And then do not forget, this does not count the rich people. And just because you make $100,000 a year does not make you the rich, the elite, the 1%. Them taxes affect you, and if you're middle class, it affects you the most.
If you're not making above, I believe, $450,000 in that range, because I think that's as high as our tax bracket goes, then this is affecting you. And I think the problem with America is people see themselves as like temporarily embarrassed billionaires, and not the middle class. So they're like, if one day I'm going to get here, why would I ever try to raise the taxes on the rich? But you're never going to get there.
You're never going to. Upward mobility is not possible in this economy. It's killed.
It's killed.
Upward mobility is killed. It's been killed. It's been killed for a long time.
I believe 10 out of the 11 presidents that have caused a type of recession have been Republican presidents. And they're like, well, $60,000 used to be enough to get my son and my daughter through college. It did. A house. It did. A car. It did. You know what happened?
You reversed that.
Ronald Reagan. And you know, Ronald Reagan is looking like a very normal president compared to the Trump presidency. Mm-hmm. And that is crazy, because Ronald Reagan is a super villain.
He is the devil in a skin suit.
Yeah, and I think, but back to the
on topic.
Yeah. I think once we have to encourage kids' passions, and I think a lot of their creativity gets shot down. It's just like it's like, well, reading is not my thing. So then you just like, one thing I hate to see is Johnny had for it. Like,
girl, you think yelling at him gonna make him get it? He probably need a visual representation. Yeah. Pull out your fingers.
Yeah. Get
some blocks.
Yeah, get some little bingo. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Things.
Get some blocks. I promise you, you can get some wooden blocks. He just need a visual. Johnny had 4 apples, and then you take 2 away. I promise he gonna get the visual. It's only 2 left. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, but encouraging kids' passions and recognizing that all kids think differently, and you need different ways of learning or teaching them to help them learn.
Yes. Not everybody. I'm sorry. This is a very heavy topic for me. I'm an education.
Same. Bitch. This is actually we actually know a lot about this.
Actually, please, it is okay. You need to learn your children. That's what a lot of people don't. Y'all just try to generalize children.
I think they forget that. Yes, he's 5 now, but he's also 35. And thinking about how he never learned how to do this from his parents. I think they forget that they're raising human beings.
It's not a dog. That's why y'all need to stop naming y'all kids like that. Y'all not.
Why would you name
dog.
Your son Dash? Dash is a Dior. That is a dog.
Honest to God, I promise you, my TT almost named my cousin Prince. You know what the hell his middle name was gonna be? Warren. Prince Warren.
That's the first name right there. Well, people will be named like Melissa and Tyrone and name their kids Amani or Armani. Can we stick to normal names? You do realize that this is an adult one day. Like, yep, it's a newborn, but this is also an adult that has to have an adult name.
And it makes it harder for them to get in those professional spaces. We're not trying to say these names is ghetto, or it just puts a roadblock in your child's career. Whatever path they may decide, it's going to make it very, very hard for them to, especially if they want to go corporate. It's going to make it very hard for them to be taken
My
seriously.
lawyer will not be named Dior. My doctor will not be named Dior.
It's going to be so hard for y'all kids to get accepted into those spaces. And then it's also like, what future were you imagining for your child? Were you imagining that your child was going to go down the same path as you, and that's why you named your baby Dior Imani? Because you thought she was going to get pregnant at 15 like you? And that was going to be the end for her? Like, why would you name your child that if you seriously saw your child being something big, somebody that was important?
And to clarify, we're not talking about the traditional black names, how it's like we have a Samaj and a James, because we understand the roots of those names.
Yeah, like Heaven and Nevaeh.
Yeah.
Totally different.
We get it. I get it for sure. I've heard
I actually knew a girl whose first name was Heaven, her middle name was Nevaeh. I said, you should have slapped the shit out your mama.
Yeah. From ages 5 to 13, I heard, did you know my name is your name spelled backwards so much? And yes, I knew that. Like, I literally knew that for the longest. What is wrong with you? Why, how couldn't I know that at this age? But yeah, encouraging kids' passions, recognizing that they are actual little people, I think is
it's vital.
It's vital. And you also, I think how you discipline your children affects whether this is a safe space or not. But y'all know that.
The biggest thing about parenting and creating safe spaces, you have to heal from the way that your parents raised you. Y'all talk all this mess. Oh, I'm not ever going to do my kids how my mama did me, and she did this, and that, and the third, and that's why it made me like this, and da-da-da. And you perpetuate those same behaviors onto your children, and then your children get grown, and you wonder why it mirrors the relationship that you may have had with your mom. Because you didn't heal, you didn't change.
If your parents spewed venom towards you, you have to use shields on your child. You have to protect them. If they was throwing knives at you, you got to throw pillows or something.
Right.
Like
they was throwing knives, you throw butter knives, okay? Yeah. It's still sharp, but it's a little duller.
Okay, I don't understand why this is controversial, and I think you will have some. When people say poor people shouldn't have kids, or if I say that, I'm not talking about lower middle class or upper lower. I'm talking about if
piss poor.
If paying the bills every month is a struggle, you have no money left over. Why would you willingly bring a child into this lifestyle?
Case in point, I lived that shit. I'm the youngest of 5 kids. My mama had 5 kids. We were piss poor up until the point where until I was 13. I am the youngest child. We were piss poor until I was 13.
Isn't one of them like 10 years older than you too?
Yes.
Oh wow! So for 23 years of her life,
we were piss poor. Piss poor. Case in point, Mama, if you hear this, I'm so sorry. I'm telling our business. I'm so sorry. But, I love you, my girl. We up now. So, anyway, I remember one time when I was in, 3rd grade, the lights was off for a week. We was using candles. The house we was in, the water heating didn't work. We was boiling pots of water on the stove so we could take a hot bath. Piss poor.
And I think that's a very selfish, respect to your mother, but that's a very selfish decision to willingly bring a child into this.
So yes, poor people shouldn't have kids, because why would you bring your child into a fucked up situation?
Okay, think about where you were when you were born. Think about where your family was, and if you're not if you're not above that when your child is born, you're literally starting them behind the starting point. Why would you start your child behind where you started?
Especially
if upward mobility is the goal.
Especially if you grew up good. You grew up in a nice 2-parent middle-class household, and then you fuck around and bring your child into a fucked up situation where you piss poor. What is wrong with you?
I just, selfishness, and people not understanding that these kids are people.
Also, birth control is more accessible than it has ever been. Like, even though like they've been trying to like crack down on them and stuff, it's still more accessible than it has ever been. Why are you not on birth control? I myself can go to my university, set up an appointment, and get some birth control. There are clinics out here and all the other things that give birth control.
For for Metro Social Justice Club, that was one of our events. We went to Planned Parenthood and made emergency contraceptive packs actually, for free, and then they just mailed them out to random people and gave them out on the street. So,
Yeah.
I just really think y'all have to recognize that you are raising human beings, and you never know what day is a canon event for your child.
Yeah.
This is Tuesday for you, but they might be thinking about this as they walking across the stage. How you talk to them.
Mm-hmm. And every word matters. Kids don't forget. They may forget the word, but they will never forget the feeling.
Yeah, that's why people are still racist when they're old, because people never forget how that hate and love. Like, people never forget how you make them feel.
Mm-mm.
And I think when you try to push a child too far in one direction, that's when you really lose them.
Yeah. You will lose your child pushing them to do things that they don't want to do. You will lose your child.
And also, we understand that just because they don't want to do it don't mean that a lot of times you're going to do something that you don't want to do. But are they doing schoolwork that they don't want to do, or are they doing random extracurriculars that you wanted them to do that you wasn't that good at?
Stop trying to live vicariously through your children. It's never going to work. You're still going to be miserable and old, and they're just going to be young and miserable.
Parents, children do not owe you anything because they didn't ask to be here.
Nope.
Also, kids naturally love their parents. So if they're not taking care of you, or if they're not calling you, that is a skill issue on your behalf.
Yeah.
Like, well, she put me in a nursing home. She felt like you imprisoned her for 18 years. So
your turn.
Yes, sir.
That's a fucked up way to think about it, but your turn.
I mean, we all it's even, right? I mean, my turn.
That is why you have to treat your kids good while they're young, because it's a trade-off. You take care of them in youth, they take care of you in death. And
in old
age, while you transition to death. That's what I meant by they take care of you in death. But yeah, so you have to treat your children good, because if you neglect them and you lead a fucked up life towards your kids, you're gonna end up alone or in a home.